Ubisoft, I swear to fucking God, if you fuck up my baby. I've always said this for years. Ubisoft is probably the best out of all the shitty publishers out there. But if you ruin Splinter Cell, that will be it. I'll categorize you on the same level as EA and Activision. Don't fuck up. And 2K for that matter. Do not fuck up my baby. Oh man, this is actually bugging me. I mean, usually I'm more rational, but... Oh no, Splinter Cell, I have such an attachment to that game. That franchise. It really bugs me. I've been playing Splinter Cell for the past 17 years of my life. Don't fuck it up. Now, how I heard about the story is I heard it through a friend when I was in Discord talking with some of my gaming mates. And then he told me about this, so I googled it. YouTube came up. Young Ye made a little video on it. Now, I didn't watch the full video because I wanted to get my own personal take, but I got the link to the IGN article and I'm going to read it right here in front of you to give you my own take on it. Because, I'm worried. I am so fucking worried. But before I stress myself out, I just want to say thank you to those of you that have subscribed to me and supported me and liked my content, commented on it, given me support. It means a lot and it shows me that even in a world where Google tries to oppress everything that is honest and righteous, there are people out there who are willing to support honest content out there. So I will carry on despite how small I am, despite how difficult it may seem. Thank you. But yeah, let's have the future of this beloved franchise desecrated some more, huh? Splinter Cell might come back in an unexpected way. That's vague. Ubisoft could be bringing back Splinter Cell in a new form factor. Now, if you want to try out new forms, new ways of playing games or whatever, here's a solution. Fucking make a new game. Make a new property. Stop ruining something that's already established. We already had this with fucking James Bond being retconned by Lashana Lynch's new character. Why are we having something else? Why are we having it again with Splinter Cell? Is 007 not enough? I swear, Hollywood and AAA gaming is just creatively desolate right now. The first paragraph begins. Despite not having a mainline game in some time, yeah, no shit, Ubisoft hasn't forgotten about Splinter Cell. Yes, they've been marketing it through fucking other games like fucking Ghost Recon Wildlands. Subpar excuse for a fucking Ghost Recon game. Even Ubisoft CEO, I can't pronounce his name, still talks about a possible return for Sam Fisher. But yes, we all saw it in your E3 presentation, that fucking shitty mobile game you're making. But it might not be on a traditional video game platform. Speaking with Chinese video game publication Gamer Sky, interesting, Julia Mott spoke briefly about a possible new Splinter Cell game. However, he stressed that any new Splinter Cell title from Ubisoft could be in the form of an experiment on different devices. Do you not remember the last time you tried to experiment with this franchise? To the point where you nearly changed the entire concept of Splinter Cell Conviction because of the backlash? Or do you just want to pretend that never happened, huh? Or what about your baby, Blacklist? It ended up being the least popular Splinter Cell out of them all, even more than Double Agent. You took out Michael Ironside because you wanted to try the new motion capture thing, and look how that turned out for you. How about you focus on the gameplay mechanics? And I'm not saying Blacklist is a bad game, I actually quite enjoyed it, it reminded me of Chaos Theory. But haven't you got the idea in your minds that deviating too far from what made Splinter Cell is a detriment to Splinter Cell? When you try new things in Watch Dogs, does anyone give a fuck? No, because it doesn't deviate too far away from the original plot. Why are you doing it in Splinter Cell? Dumb fucking idiots. On Splinter Cell, there'll be some new type of experiences, but more on different devices.
Sam, listen to me. Sam.
What? Different devices? Are they fucking stupid? Ubisoft are fucking using the plot if they're actually gonna make this a mobile game. I swear it's a fucking... Hey, you know what? Alright, rational minds will prevail. Right, Here, if you're looking for innovation, here's what you do. You do what they did with Metal Gear. I prefer them to do something like they did with Phantom Pain, because they still kept it true to the original game despite the open world feel to it. At the end of the day, it was still a linear, single-player stealth experience, you know? But to change the platform that it's based on, it's not going to go well for you. Perhaps this is Ubisoft realizing that Splinter Cell is not going to be as lucrative as some of their other franchises. I mean, look at Rainbow Six Siege and how lucrative that was, but they had to change it from its original concept. It is not the same as Vegas 2, for example. Far from it, actually. And I guess this is what they're going to try with Splinter Cell. They're going to try something new with the franchise and hope that it works out the same way that Siege did. But even Siege is kind of going downhill right now. It isn't as popular as it used to be. And I've been playing Siege since beta, and trust me, the original fire I had back then, even the original fire that came back about a year ago for me, it's non-existent now. But the reason why Siege is still liked, despite it deviating so far from the Rainbow Six name, from the Rainbow Six franchise's origins, is because at the core, it is a squad-based tactical shooter. Although it's now all online, it's still squad-based because of the teamwork functions. And they have added in new things like destructible surfaces and stuff to make it more immersive and realistic, because Siege was based on realism, but in a more urban environment, which is a contrast to Ghost Recon, which was more rural. What you're saying to this Chinese game publication thing, I can't pronounce his name, Guillemort? I don't fucking know. We'll call him Gilly from now on. What it sounds like Gilly is saying is that he legit wants to just stop making Splinter Cell games as a whole on Xbox, on PlayStation, on PC, and put it on other platforms. And the only platform I can think of is mobile. And how do you think that will work out well for you? Because you're going to have to make it cheap, like they had to do with that Alien Isolation ripoff that failed, or make it free to play like they did with Elder Scrolls Blades. And look how that turned out. You had to force loot boxes in, and loot boxes has already garnered a bad reputation, and in fact I believe they're going to be illegal anytime soon, or they're going to be heavily regulated. I mean, now they're going to have to show percentages, right? How are you going to do that with Splinter Cell? It's not going to bode well for you. When 343 deviated from the original Halos of Halo 4 and later Halo 5, how did that turn out for them? It just sounds sleazy, what they're trying to do. Yeah? They've been marketing Splinter Cell, getting nostalgia up for the past several years. They plastered them all throughout Ghost Recon. And now what? They're going to give us some shitty mobile game? Gilly didn't announce a new Splinter Cell game in this interview. Instead, he said that Ubisoft has to find the right experience to come back big. You know how to do that? Stick to the core of what made Splinter Cell, you dumb cunt. It's so simple. So simple. Yes, deviate, add new features a little bit, but don't make it a completely different game. You might as well make a bloody new property by that virtue. Do what you did with The Division. Make something new. I mean, don't falsely market it like you did with The Division 1, but make something new. The reason why The Division is not hated is because they didn't take a previously established idea and twist it and turn it into something new. I mean, let's face it, Ubisoft isn't exactly broke. They can afford to make new shit, but they don't want to. Why create something new, brand new and beautiful, when you could just take already established properties made by the legend himself, Tom Clancy, and twist them into whatever horseshit they want to make as much money as they possibly can, being as sleazy as they possibly can without going above and beyond EA, Activision and Bethesda. Fuck my life. Alright, let's calm down, hindsight. Gilmore mentioning different devices seems to indicate whatever... Oh, I think I got his name right. Whatever Splinter Cell project Ubisoft is currently working on, it's not meant for traditional video game consoles. Instead, Gilly's statement could relate to a report from earlier this year that said Facebook Oculus signed a deal with Ubisoft to bring Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed to Oculus VR. How the fuck are they going to do that? They're third-person games. It doesn't make sense to do that. Unless you're going to make a new game and make it first-person, how are you going to pull that off? You know what? If they're going to do that, it's better to make it into some shitty mobile game. I'll give them that. But, I don't know. This just fits neatly with Gilly's statement as a VR experience is currently a novel approach to Splinter Cell. If you make it first person, yeah, sure. And the Oculus or Oculus Quest is a different device compared to something like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. Gilly has a soft spot for the Splinter Cell series, really. You better start making more Splinter Cell games then, cunt! Speaking on IGN Unfiltered earlier this year, Gilly said that the Splinter Cell series changed Ubisoft. Yeah, not enough. Unfortunately, there's no new Splinter Cell game currently present, because you're fucking taking the time and being a waste man, but I digress. But check back on IGN for when Ubisoft settles on the right experience to bring back Splinter Cell. I mean, it's not that fucking difficult. Carry on the story. You have all this lore dating back for the past 20 years, and you can't come up with something new. Like I said before, AAA gaming as well as Hollywood is just creatively desolate. It's bankrupt, I think I heard someone say. There's no creativity anymore. There's no good stories. There's no enriching experiences. It's just repeating the same horseshit with no deviation because it makes them money. That's why so many game remasters or film remakes are happening nowadays. How about trying to innovate? Look at what CD Projekt Red is doing with Cyberpunk. They're trying something completely new that hasn't been done before with good intentions and good PR, and look at what they're doing. Look at how much support they're getting. They're not trying to nickel and dime the consumer. They're being as righteous as possible. You know, their standard edition is offering what most special editions offer. Why can't you do that, Ubisoft? Why can't you? Ubisoft, you have the potential to be one of the best AAA developers out there, but you are just going towards the dark side right now. With the whole pay for convenience thing you had in the recent Assassin's Creed, I've lost faith in you. I really have. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not as bad as Bethesda, and Bethesda's like number 3 on the shitty list right now, but you're getting there with this. This new Splinter Cell that you're hinting at is your potential to go to the light side of the Force. And I know in Star Wars they talk about the balance, you know, but let EA, Activision and Bethesda be the dark sides. Why don't you join CD Projekt Red on the light side of the Force and treat your consumers nicely, huh? I'm worried, man. I am seriously worried. I grew up with Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell was one of the first games I got for my PlayStation 2 when I was about 6 years old. Me and my uncle used to play through it together, you know? He used to teach me all this stuff. Only fools rush in. Take your time, nephew. And, you know, I just don't like the idea of getting that shit tarnished by greed from these corporations. I mean, we've seen it with Star Wars. I think this is the last straw for me. Otherwise, I'm just rebelling against Hollywood and AAA. Sam Fisher, I grew up with him being one of my top 5 characters in games and films. And it's just gonna be another franchise destroyed like Star Wars was, huh? If you want to make something in a different platform, make a new fucking concept like you did with The Division. Like you did with Watch Dogs. Don't tarnish your already established ones that made you what you are today. It's not gonna go well for you. Alright, Ubi? Leave Splinter Cell alone. And I'll talk to you later, lads and ladettes.